睛，你会怎么做？他倒是告诉我，我怕听不见。以前起的火把是你式的魔法，慢慢的渗入我的心逐渐。你举起前进更难逃脱，抬头看天空，爱就在飘落。可以是歌手，是作家，写诗在行诗，当然那些爱情小说。水火让我伴着你左右，爱情在燃烧，看着你火候。你最爱看太阳落下，我明天。
Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. Today, what I want to do is discuss a little bit about what is going on in general, but also in the world. A lot of people have been writing to me relatively concerned because of these drone sightings and statements and things going on with Ukraine and this and that and of course a bunch of other weird things. And I would like to address them in this video. So we're going to begin right now, and I'm going to talk with you about the basics. World War III has already started. It began in 2008, with the foundational aspects of it around 2014. The harsh fighting began on a bioweapons assault, amongst other assaults, against China. The United States has thrown the entire kitchen sink at China. So that entire kitchen sink started happening around 2018. Bioweapon attack was the highlight of it, was around 2019, 2020, and then on with the pushing it to attack Russia, which was in 2022 with the Russian response. And the hot aspects of all this stuff has been pretty much peaking out over the last 4 years. So it's the end of 2024. So say from about 2018 to about now was the primary peak of World War III. And now we're entering into the reconstruction phase. Historically, the dates, the times, the magnitudes of World War III has already been mapped up by Strauss and Howe's generational turnings, and it matches completely. And we're in the reconstruction period. Of course, you'd never know it if you read the Western media, but we're in reconstruction period. Reconstruction is going to take at least a decade, guys. So be aware of that, all right? And with this in mind, looking at the big picture, don't freak out too much, okay? The worst is over. Sure, an idiot can press a button. Some things can go very, very bad, very, very quickly. But for the most part, we're in the clear. And you shouldn't worry too much about World War III and all this stuff, regardless about what Hal Turner says and the doomsday preppers and all that other kind of stuff. Relax, okay? So that's the general overview right now, okay? Now, that being said, and it should all be clear, we are in a dangerous period of time. Because while the primary hostilities has pretty much ended, there are loose ends. The United States has been throwing TACM missiles into Russia. And sure, the news media is saying Ukraine's doing it. No. The control guidance of these missiles are controlled by the United States. There are American officers who press the button to fire them. There are American officers who are operating the missile complexes. There are American officers who are targeting the targets inside of Russia. And the decision and the orders flow down directly from the White House as to what will be targeted. So don't get any of this confused. Let's be upfront about it. It's not like it's a bullet fired from a gun and we just gave a gun to somebody. The bullets are completely controlled by Washington, D.C. And every step of the way is controlled by American military. Russia knows this, and Russia has been getting increasingly upset about it. And the Biden administration, of course, has this thing about saying one thing and doing complete opposite, and they've pissed off both Putin and Xi Jinping, and Russia and China are both pretty well pissed off. Russia's probably going to do some tit for tat in their own fashion. But some big things might be on the way. Unless there are substantive changes, the pushback might be enormous. And thus you have this issue with the drones. For the most part, and confirmed by Domain Commander, for the most part, not all things, but by the most part, these drones are American drones that are sniffing out for latent radiation leakage from nuclear sources. In other words, they're trying to smell where all the nuclear bombs are. Apparently, there is a nuclear bomb in New Jersey. Why New Jersey, of all places, I don't know, but radiation detectors are going off and you've probably seen this on YouTube and on TikTok and whatever platforms. People are actually showing their little radiation detectors, little things, they carry with them as part of their various jobs, little things, and you can see on the screen that radiation is spiking abnormally high. These drones are flying in the evening because that is where it's easiest to detect radiation from munition. All of this suggests that either the United States lost a fissionable nuclear device somewhere in New Jersey, or somebody has one and they carried it over to the United States and it's sitting in New Jersey somewhere. Why New Jersey? Well, I don't know. Port of New Jersey, maybe? I don't know. But if a large nuclear explosion did occur in New Jersey, it would impact both New York City and Washington, D.C. So, of course, the United States is a little concerned about it. And wouldn't you be? So that's what's going on. These are specialized drones. Now they are being compounded by a lot of fakes. There's also some extraterrestrial craft that's investigating some of this stuff because the presence of nuclear leaking weapons is of interest to extraterrestrials as well as to the humans. So, of course, there's some other activities going on. And everybody's trying to find this. And that's kind of what all that nonsense is going on about. Now, that being said, there's other things, high strangeness that's occurring. For instance, all of a sudden a bunch of car lights are switching on and off at night on a parking lot. Odd. A spurless electromagnetic signal is certainly triggering those vehicles, but why and how and whatever, I have no clue. But those of you who think that it's a sign that the end of the world is imminent, chill out, have a beer and relax. It's nothing like that at all. Don't let your imagination get to you. I swear, all the American and the Western media does is try to scare the living bejesus out of you. Chill out and relax, because that is not the case, people. It's not the case. So, guys, all this stuff about missing nuclear weapon and drones searching for it is alarming, because there's no defense against it. If the nuclear weapon is in the United States, it's going to be detonated. Either somebody tries to secure it and disarm it, and with a possibility of a detonation, or the people who planted it there are going to detonate it. We don't know what's going on regarding it, but if somebody planted it there, it could be anybody. Don't think that it's just Putin. It might be some people who are angry about Palestine. It might be somebody who's angry about Ukraine. It might be somebody who's angry about Germany. It might be somebody who's angry about China. The United States has been a very, very bad player over the last couple of years. And it's really angered a hell of a lot of people. So don't think that there aren't a lot of people outside the United States that want a little bit of payback. And of course, if you can imagine the effects of a large nuclear weapon on New York and Washington, D.C., the United States will just crumble. The United States is not a strong country. It is a particularly weak country right now, and it's in massive decay and collapse. So it wouldn't take much to push it over. So, regardless, will anything happen? I have no idea. It could, but maybe the magician might pull the proverbial the hat out of the hat, the rabbit out of the hat. Proverbial, the proverbial hat, rabbit out of the hat, pulling the rabbit out of the hat. Okay. I totally botched that up. Something fierce. Okay. So with all this being said now, there's other things going on, and it's kind of weird. Don't get too caught up in it. This reality is more and more looking like a harsh, very, very harsh training ground, sort of like a boot camp kind of environment for souls to learn and acquire things. The more and more I see. Entry into it is careful, and once you do enter it, I think you need a support group outside to make sure you don't wander into all kinds of trouble, because it's a dangerous place. And so that's why you've got people who die, have NDEs, and see a support group there. As far as this prison planet, it is my understanding that it was a far more secure prison planet than it is today, and that things are much, much easier. But we all should be aware that there are always traps and pitfalls, and not to get too caught up in them. Okay. As I've said before, whenever you die, and you will die, we all will die. And whenever you die, and you're figuring out what the hell's going on, try to remember as far back that you can possibly remember. Okay? And that will tell you how much degree of control that you have outside of your body. So, guys, the purpose of this meeting was just to answer some questions everybody seems to be very, very concerned about. What's going to happen in Ukraine? What's going to happen in Palestine? What is going to happen in the Gaza Strip? What's going on with Russia? What's going on with China? What's going to happen to the United States? A lot of people are very, very, very concerned because the United States has been very bad over the last couple of years. And people want stability. Americans want stability, Russians want stability, Ukrainians want stability, Palestinians want stability. And so I'm going to give an overview. We're in the Reconstruction period. The borders of Israel will be adjusted as a result of this reconstructive period. There might be more fighting in Israel. There might be terminal collapse of Israel. All kinds of things may happen, but we don't know what it will happen. What will actually happen is that Israel will have new borders and new relations with the rest of the Arab world. Likewise with Ukraine. We don't know when, we don't know how it will be managed or the details, but it will happen. Likewise, same with Taiwan. It will be reunified with the mainland, and there's going to be new working relationships with the other nations of the Pacific Rim there. You don't have to worry too much about the details, but know that the Lord of Chaos, the United States, is doing everything to destabilize Korea, doing everything to force trouble in Japan. It's doing everything it can to create conflict between China and the Philippines. It's doing everything it can in all sorts of ways. The empire of chaos, and as a result, there's going to be massive changes. We don't know the details yet. You don't need to know the details, just that we're in the reconstructive period. Certainly, there could be some very, very bad events, one-off, but as the main commander has repeatedly told me, small bads may hurt some people, but it won't be you. So don't worry too much about that, okay? And in the meantime, don't get too caught up in the fear generation media. I know I post some on MM, and I'm as concerned about this and that as you are. They're pushing my buttons, and so I'm passing the vomit down your way. Don't be too upset at old MM here, okay? I'm just doing what I think is topical. Do the best you can. Be the best you can be. That's all that I'm asking for you. And remember, in every day and in every way, be good and kind to dogs and cats. Treat other people with some decency, and just be a good person. Because, I believe in you. Take care, people. Bye-bye. The youth them tired living on the bread line. The money no excuse to rob your blind. Our weapon in a body party that Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. Today, what I want to do is discuss a little bit about what is going on in general, but also in the world. A lot of people have been writing to me relatively concerned because of these drone sightings and statements and things going on with Ukraine and this and that and of course a bunch of other weird things. And I would like to address them in this video. So we're going to begin right now, and I'm going to talk with you about the basics. World War III has already started. It began in 2008, with the foundational aspects of it around 2014. The harsh fighting began on a bioweapons assault, amongst other assaults against China, The United States has thrown the entire kitchen sink at China. So that entire kitchen sink started happening around 2018. Bioweapon attack was the highlight of it, was around 2019, 2020. And then on with the pushing to attack Russia, which was in 2022 with the Russian response. And the hot aspects of all this stuff has been pretty much peaking out over the last 4 years. So it's the end of 2024. So say from about 2018 to about now was the primary peak of World War III. And now we're entering into the reconstruction phase. Historically, the dates, the times, the magnitudes of World War III has already been mapped out by Strauss and Howe's generational turnings, and it matches completely. And we're in the reconstruction period. Of course, you'd never know it if you read the Western media, but we're in reconstruction period. Reconstruction is going to take at least a decade, guys. So be aware of that, all right? And with this in mind, looking at the big picture, don't freak out too much, okay? The worst is over. Sure, an idiot can press a button. Some things can go very, very bad, very, very quickly. But for the most part, we're in the clear. And you shouldn't worry too much about World War III and all this stuff, regardless about what Hal Turner says and the doomsday preppers and all that other kind of stuff. Relax, okay? So that's the general overview right now, okay?